Hello, everyone. So today I have brought you a very special guest, Mark, but he will introduce himself properly. I will give a brief preview. Mark is one of the people who joined our 5K journey, which is, let's say, an innovative path that we at Publishing Lifestyle have brought to the market, something, let's say, never seen before. Why? Because it wasn't the typical consulting path where you pay a certain amount of money for a certain number of hours of consulting, and then if you don't get results, it's your problem. No. It was a goal-oriented consulting path. What does that mean? It means that the consultations will be unlimited until the predetermined goal is reached. Okay, so this is a brief introduction to what this type of journey is about. Now, Mark will introduce himself, and we will talk more specifically about everything, including his experience and the results he has achieved.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for the invitation, Ricky. It's truly a pleasure, and good evening to everyone who will be following us. My name is Mark. I turned 30 just over a month ago, and I've been in publishing since 2018. I started with a very outdated course. Obviously, as you can understand, 4 years on the internet is an eternity. It was a valid course, but I was absolutely not prepared to get into, let's say, the right mindset of how everything works a bit in the world of publishing. Then I continued making a slew of mistakes and poorly invested money. And in 2019, around April, I purchased another course from a different instructor. I have to say the course is valid. Let's say it just wasn't tailored for me. Okay, so I repeat, an interesting path, but I couldn't make it my own. I couldn't follow it in the right way because I was missing something, okay? So, with fluctuating results, my business collapsed at least a couple of times, and I admit that finding the right motivation and focus to get back on track after it collapsed a couple of times was a very tough experience. Even though in hindsight, it taught me a lot of things until we get to April 2022, when I was more or less actively trying to resume this work, this business, because I have always believed in it. Okay. And let's say what I was actively looking for was a path through people who could follow me personally. Okay. And of course, they had the numbers on hand, the proven experience. And coincidentally, less than a month later, I couldn't find a sponsor. If I remember correctly, we had communicated more or less directly via message, and you had informed me about something. So I chose this path with unlimited consultations until the goal is reached. And there, I realized that I had found my opportunity, my tailor-made chance. I evaluated it very quickly and decided to start this journey. So, we're talking about April, early April, mid-April of 2022, just a few months ago.
So, briefly talking about the past, so we can leave it behind. Let's focus on the journey we have taken together.
Yes, just as an introduction.
To actually understand the more pragmatic level from these courses. Did you achieve results? Did you not achieve results when you entered our journey? What results were you actually having? So numbers in hand, like that.
Okay, so I guess we are talking more specifically about KDP, right?
Yes. To talk a bit about all your previous experience. So you say, now I don't know. I remember you had something in audio that was going.
Yes. Okay. So initially, from 2019 onwards, I had decent results on ACX in audio. Then we are talking about huge figures, but initially, let's say a few $1,000s. I don't know, 2, 3, 4,000. Even though it was always, once the peak was reached, always very much on the decline, okay, but more or less stable so that I could then repay myself for other investments in books and work. On KVP, I think the most that has been achieved is $300 in a month, but in a very sporadic manner, okay? Then the peak he experienced was in 2021 up until July, thanks to the Ingram Spark platform, which I want to emphasize I have always used very precisely, and at the moment it was trolled.
But let's say that it's not a matter of real competence.
Absolutely, yes, you are right.
Because the book makes the whole platform, or at least it used to.
Load, sells, out, it leaves us hanging, it leaves us hanging. Exactly, exactly.
So you don't even buy it, let's say, given the situation.
Oh, yes, yes, of course. In fact, it disappeared very, very quickly. It was quite a superfluous thing. It helped, clearly, but it wasn't stable.
Let's say I know Mark, who wanted to create his own stable business, to have employees of a certain kind. And let's say the focus in our journey is precisely on KDP. So on the KDP stream, on paperback books, not on audiobooks. So that's where Mark and I went to work together. And so when I took you on, it seems to me you were doing little or nothing on KDP. $50 a month when it was going well. Yes, yes.
About $50 a month when things were going well. Yes, yes, no. What?
All right, okay. So let's say coming from the other type of path on KDP, you didn't find your way. You didn't find the right fit.
Exactly, not even close. Then, of course, it was my responsibility, but yes, it was going very badly.
Absolutely. Let's delve a bit deeper, let's say, into the differences, let's say, between the training you had before and the type of journey you undertook with us.
Okay, so first and foremost, it was the assistance, the unlimited personalized assistance. This means I don't have to do 10 calls and pay for 10 calls, but then maybe I need up to the 15th call. So I still have to be there. This was something that reassured me, let's say. It made me feel a bit more supported, which might seem trivial, but it really affects the quality of one's work, right? And secondly, technical things, for example, like I remember in Glue, when we did them together, how you observe the keywords. I tried to grasp as much as possible from your reasoning and how you analyze them, how we went into detail to understand how it works. This was something very, very important for me.
So we can distinguish, let's say, two macro areas. The first could be the technical skills themselves. So different technical skills, different things, precisely, as a way, as a methodology to then go and do self-publishing, right? I confirm, yes. The totally different things that you didn't do before or that you did incorrectly, which obviously led to results that were not the desired ones. Exactly, I confirm. Okay, perfect. And here, what is the point I'm getting at? The point is that obviously being guided by people who are deeply involved makes all the difference in the world. It's one thing to study from a trainer who achieved results 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and now, by necessity, focuses on info business and various other things, but certainly not self-publishing. This is because, from a business perspective, it is smarter to focus on something else, or because various commitments simply do not allow it. Indeed, they no longer do self-publishing, let's say, but most of the people who teach it, it's different to be guided by people who maybe 3 months earlier set the Italian record for royalties generated on KDP. Obviously, the nuances of things. Inevitably, someone who is more up to date can help you more than someone who is not currently making money with self-publishing. So this is to connect a bit. And the other aspect, of course, was the matter of being followed up. So maybe you have 10 calls, but you need 15, or you need 8. Maybe you have a quick question and you have the Telegram group. So in this regard, how was the journey structured and how did you find it?
I must say, it was very well tailored. In fact, I also appreciated the fact that when I purchased the course, I had the time to watch it and study it multiple times, because you, Ricky, and Giuseppe are structuring the path exactly for the individual. And this makes a difference. I mean, it's not something personalized, but then it seems paradoxical, but somewhat standardized. That is personal, okay? So it is tailored to your case, and that makes a difference. That makes a big difference.
Because everyone obviously has different needs. Because they have
different times, clear.
Different learning times, different paces. There are many variables, which is why, of course, a course or a limited consultation package may not be sufficient. Obviously, being a person requires more time. and one needs to be followed in a different manner. Absolutely agree. To reach the goals. Okay, so now I'll tell you, Mark, I've noted down all the points I want to cover with you so I don't forget anything. Speech, specifically a technical speech, aims to address the issue of spending limitation, which I find very interesting. Many self-publishers fail, honestly. How did you find working with us? Since you also have previous experience in budget management and in creating your own products, specifically your books, with much less budget used intelligently.
Tell us a bit. Okay, so basically, I have more than halved the investments to produce material. And it may seem trivial, but clearly it is not. I mean, I get a book written for a third of the cost, which gives me much more margin to produce more books, always well made, of quality, with thought and targeted. And then, what is the consequence? That I reduce the risk of not recovering the investment from the single book. This is a purely mathematical factor, okay? So I have the opportunity to work more calmly, let's say with a bit more peace of mind, and to work on a larger quantity, always with quality, of course. Thank you. And having previous points of comparison, I can say that there is one thing that absolutely makes a difference, which is being able to invest less money while having the exact same products, exactly the same. Guys, it's a no-brainer. It's mathematics. You can't escape it. And
so you're basically telling me that you figured out with us how to get the same products as before, but paying half the price.
Yes, even less. In some cases, even less than half, yes.
Here, unfortunately, is a mistake I see many people make, okay? Which is relying on various services. And objectively, I don't want to demonize them. I believe they are smart services and companies because they see a market demand and respond to it. But obviously, it is a company, so it needs to make a margin. There has to be profit. There are costs to pay, and there are suppliers. The suppliers then, these companies, since they are companies that operate online, where will they ever find these suppliers online where anyone can find them? So there is something that you end up paying double for, something that you could.
I was thinking exactly the same thing. That is, you just need to have, let's say, a bit more strength, willpower, desire, curiosity to sit down and figure out how to cut out the intermediaries, right? In some cases, it's more of a personal thing. In other cases, it's a matter of necessity. If I have a low, tight budget, I can't pay X for a book. It's always a mathematical factor. So I have to hustle and show how. And then, guys, I mean, it's simple in the sense that it just takes a little effort.
Even if one has a high budget.
Yes, by the way, of course. But you are right.
You have a good budget, a high budget.
It's,
of course.
Especially with a tight budget. Of course. Absolutely.
The main mistake I see in reality is the act of delegating responsibility.
Yes.
Because it's a simpler thing, right? Because if I have to struggle, finding people is one thing. Going there and finding everything ready, finding the mom is easy. Additionally, you delegate the responsibility at the level of creation itself. For example, a fundamental thing. Now we open the discussion about covers, keywords, and everything, which is a fundamental thing. You have to be the one to decide how you want it. You can't delegate it to a service that you think is good, that you think will do the market study and analysis for the publisher, which is not true. Because if 10 orders come in for 10 covers on the same keyword, there is no market analysis. And you understand well that you are delegating the responsibility, but then you get hurt.
Exactly. And then you fundamentally learn nothing because others are doing the thing for you. And even if it turns out well, you haven't understood the reason behind it. This is the big point. Exactly, it might work for you once, but if you don't understand the mechanism behind it, how can you replicate it later?
And sticking to this topic, because the subject of covers came up, it occurred to me to ask you, have you found differences, let's say, in how you used to make covers, how you were taught to make covers before, and how we have taught you to make covers now, and the consequences and results you are seeing?
Yes, well, this is one of the biggest technical differences, let's say. that I have found in all the paths I have seen. I remember before taking your course, I had no idea how to make a cover. I remember that when my covers arrived, my thought was, yes, nice, okay, but I don't know if it's good. I can't tell if it's good or not. The first time I watched the lesson, which by the way you were giving about covers, I don't remember exactly how long it lasted, but I finished the lesson and sat down and thought, for the first time I understood how this thing works. I had clear details, explained one after the other, really simple and transparent, and I understood how it works. I understood what I need to look at, how, why, and why not.
That's where it makes all the difference in the world, because beauty is subjective, right? What I think is beautiful might actually be ugly, but what is truly ugly can actually work and sell. Those are the only parameters. So from there, one can start building things and also focus on differentiation. There are many audiences who ask me how I differentiate myself. Well, it's not like if all the covers are white and you make a black cover, you're differentiating yourself. I mean, we can't really give too many spoilers because it wouldn't be fair to the people who join our programs, but we have a very precise and specific technology to create covers and ensure they sell.
I have a very dear friend who is a very talented graphic designer working for an ISO brand, and he once asked me, do you want a beautiful cover or a cover that sells? And I paused for a moment. That's exactly the essence of what you're saying. Of course, things can be put together, but what is taught is why the cover sells, and that's what interests us. Whether it looks beautiful is relatively unimportant. What matters is that it converts.
Exactly. What really matters are the facts. I mean, I talk to hundreds of people and they come to me saying, but my cover is more beautiful. Or I got it from Service X and I paid 400 or 500 euros for it. But does it convert? Well, so it's stupid. If you paid 500 euros and then maybe someone else paid 20 euros for theirs and it converts better, that's what I honestly think. If in the end the question is, okay, you paid 500 euros for the cover, great, but how well does it convert? In practical terms, in numbers, it's like, okay. Then to stay on the topic of technical things, obviously, we provide, let's give a little something, a few tips exactly, and let's say that other differences. I wanted to talk about the management of the work itself, okay? So all the management files for accounting, for analyzing the keywords, let's say. Okay, the work that we had prepared a bit for you, we gave you the management tools to fill out, to prepare, already ready and organized. How useful was it for you?
So, first of all, the first time I saw the lessons related to all the management systems, tools, and sheets, I remember one of the thoughts I had was that now I am starting to understand a bit more practically why they achieve certain figures. It's very much a matter of organization and order. To have, let's say, a desk or any organized place where I know exactly where things are, how to do. It is meanwhile a matter of responsibility at work and of amplifying the efficiency that a person can have in doing a certain thing. And they are extremely organized and have definitely helped me a lot. And some things, honestly, some operations, some sheets I had never seen before. Okay. I don't know. What comes to mind is the one about prospecting without going too. I mean, guys, incredible, amazing.
Where everything is based, because in the end, it's numbers, meaning if there are no numbers.
Business is about the numbers. If the numbers aren't there, the business isn't using it. A new world opens up to you, and you understand why some things work and others don't. And it's very much a matter of method. And it teaches you to have a more focused, more targeted eye, aiming in the right direction. Because if one has a minimal plan and analyzes the data, it's the plan, okay?
It's nice that by using it, it kind of becomes a part of you.
Yes, it changes the way you see and approach things, certainly.
You can actually predict how much you will earn.
Yes, this is an incredible thing, by the way.
On the call, I remember some time ago, I told you, I don't know if you remember, I told you, Mark, look, with this pen name here. Now let's get a bit more specific about things. Then I told you, with this pen name here, in my opinion, we can make 10K a month with these books. Yes, I remember very well.
I was absolutely thrilled by this phrase indeed.
And then it happened. I mean, the following month, we did it.
Yes, actually, yes, the month after, yes. Okay, it was last month, which was August. Actually, this month, theoretically, the same pen name should double, okay? I use a conditional because you never know, but actually, your prediction should have been doubled, meaning with this pen name, you make 20. So it's okay.
But this comes precisely from studying, that is, from not doing things randomly. It's not about making the cover there, because I think they're good, making the book there, because I think they're good, launching it, and crossing my fingers.
We hope that hoping is not a strategy. Yes, we hope.
Hoping is not a strategy. No, clear, absolutely. And then, let's say, why? We have seen a bit, okay, differences regarding keyword research, differences regarding cover creation. There were also different tips there that many did not use. But the point is what happens after. So after you have launched the book, the real work of the publisher is there. So how did you find working with us in the post-launch management?
Because it's not guaranteed to succeed. I remember we discussed some books that initially struggled a bit. And you explained to me that it's perfectly normal that they need to be nurtured because they are indeed assets, right? So the continuous care of the book, how to arrange it, how to look at it, and then the fact of constantly every X period being there to arrange it. Well, guys, it makes a difference. There's no doubt about it. I don't just launch a book and then, okay, it's out there, it's done, great. No, you have to stay on top of it. Clearly, the actions are different, but this is also well explained. And it changes. It changes. There's not much you can do about it.
Here we can make two distinctions. First, it's about getting the book started. Then you can launch the book and it takes off immediately, right? It's there, it's fine. That means you did a good job beforehand. Maybe you launch the book and it doesn't take off immediately. Has that happened?
Yes. The book that sells the most for me took 3 weeks, if I remember correctly, to start. But once it got going, and we had to make some adjustments. Absolutely. It's also good to understand. There's always a reason behind things. It's good to understand why. It's not immediately a case of pulling your hair out in despair. It doesn't sell. I did everything right. Yes, there's always something to fix. Otherwise, it would be immediately apparent. So one watches, adjusts, and there are all the tips, the practical advice in the course. Then, in this case, I was also with you, so you were directly guiding me. It was more immediate, let's say, okay.
And then, let's say, that's the best part. Now, I know that those who are just starting to publish might not earn anything. Now, he's going to give us a long speech where he tells us, those things that don't interest them because people want to see results immediately. Yes, okay, but let's also look at it from another point of view. It doesn't work. There are things to fix where you gain real experience.
Yes, exactly. That's feedback. That's a big piece of feedback you have.
Exactly. And you can then reapply it in the publications. Every book you launch sells like this. What do you do with the first book that doesn't sell?
Yes, either you have learned everything perfectly and therefore replicate everything perfectly, which doesn't exist. It's another game that doesn't exist. Or actually, as you say, you need to learn. You need to train your eye to understand what works and what doesn't, so that every time you publish, it will be closer to being right from the start. But then there's always some reason why. So that's where the fundamental game lies, right? Trying to understand how to fix, how to look at what the problem is, the advertising data that explain what or what not.
That's all. There's nothing to invent about the market, and you see and adjust accordingly.
Absolutely.
So to wrap up the discussion on management, work organization, and everything, for example, in the month when we made over $65,000, we worked 1 hour a day, maybe 1 hour a day. Why? Because obviously having everything organized, having everything under control, there has obviously been prior work, and this is the beauty of this business. So it's not about working countless hours. Obviously, if you know how to manage yourself, if you know how to organize yourself, if you work beforehand, at the beginning, there's a big phase of development and work. But then, after that, it's maintenance.
You know, from this last month and a half, basically from August to this 13th of September when we are recording, I vaguely realized that to make $65,000 working 1 hour a day, there is a monstrous level of organization. In that hour, truly crazy. On average, we don't realize it.
All the tools we use, all the instruments, all the management systems we use, we obviously provide them in the course. And these are exactly all our sheets, our things, because it is fundamental. It is fundamental for all this control, especially at the accounting level. Because there are still people who maybe are the only ones who earn everything by hand. On paper. They write as much as they want. Everything under control. How much is spent? How much is earned? How much is yet to come? This way you understand every item. You need to know how much you are spending so you can optimize. Even at a business level, you can optimize.
Yes, everything is under control. Everything is there. And organized, absolutely.
So, Mark, let's get to the most anticipated moment.
Highlight of the interview.
Viewers, right? Because now we are here. Great, you told us about it. Now, show us the numbers. Then, let's understand for a moment. First, you tell us about it, then, of course, we will also look at it with the dashboards, because one of our cornerstones is indeed straightforwardness and transparency. I have seen hundreds of people say they do X, and then the net result wasn't there. I have interviews where it is not specified how much is net money, how much is spent, and above all, nothing is shown to me. Everything is just words. So, obviously, let's just quickly go take a look. Speaking of numbers, tell us a bit about the publications. How did the first month of publishing go? How did the second month go? And how is the third month going? Because in reality, we have reached very high numbers in a short time.
So the first month of publishing was July, following your path. And I was coming from, as I said, $50 to aim high per month. And July ended, if I remember correctly, with around $1,590. Okay. And in advertising, I spent $27 also because I actually activated them at the end so that I could fix everything first. So it's a bit relative, $1,590 if I remember correctly.
So 1,500 net in the first month of publishing. First, there was a month and a half of preparation, studying, researching keywords, looking together, and ordering.
But very quickly, when we arrived on the field, yes, we started in May with the research to understand a bit what my needs were, my timelines, so a bit of everything. And indeed, in July, we started publishing. So by the end of the month, we were at 1,000, 1,500 net, okay, excluding the ads, which were negligible anyway. And in August, the month on KDP, I always talk to you about, it closed with 11,990, if I remember correctly. And I invested $972 in advertising. So $11,000 and a little, around 11,020.
So to speak, an exponential leap.
Yes, monstrous, yes.
From 0 to 11,600 in
2 months. If you're crazy, absolutely.
11,600 on ads, 972.
That's still.
So we are over 10,000 net there as 972, second month of publishing.
Yes, 11,020, $11,000 net and a little more.
So now let's open the dashboards and do it properly.
Sure, absolutely.
But I want to say,
unbelievable.
Guys, I think it's truly remarkable to go from 0 to over 10,000 net in the second month of publishing. Amazing. Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you, Ricky.
It was a job. Obviously, I gave everything possible to Mark. I followed him. We provided all the tools. We provided all the information. I confirm. But I want to say you put in the work. So, congratulations indeed.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart, Ricky. You gave me the tools, the knowledge, the advice, the things, and then I clearly applied them. Maybe also the short time frames. And due to a personal need, give it a bit. Okay.
That is the fundamental part. Because obviously I can give everything. But I can't go to the person's house and stand up for them, of course. But I do stand up for my team.
Even if I could have, honestly, I wouldn't have accepted because I wouldn't have learned anything. So when you can't follow me that day, what do I do? As they say, a famous saying taught me how to fish, you know. It's more useful.
Well, anyway, the thanks and the flattery. Oh, well, they are necessary, of course. Great. Both, because I also have some things that I obviously wanted to tell you at the end of this journey. And even more, I wanted to say, Ari, I think this is really the right occasion to tell you. And now let's get back to the numbers. How did the third month start? Which is September, right?
So the third month started off much, much better than the second, which is already crazy in itself. Because today is the 13th, but actually, well, it's 5:20 at the moment. So in America, it's the beginning of the day. And I'm at $10,700. Okay.
How much spend on Nats?
The investments are at about $690. So we are already talking about 10K net by the 12th of the month. Because it has to be concluded by the 13th. It's midday there. And it has just started, but we are already over 10K net. After deducting advertising investments by the 12th, so by the 13th, there's still quite a bit to go. In my opinion, we are looking at a month with 25K net.
Now we will make the estimate. You know, we had a lot of fun in the consultation making these estimates, but when I close, I pride myself on rarely getting these things wrong.
In fact, I was telling you to aim high with the numbers so that you always hit at least some of them.
Now we will also make an estimate for this month.
Okay.
I would say, Mark, let's take a look. Let's get the people who are following us into the heart of it. So let's actually show what we have talked about.
Okay, should I share my screen with you?
Dashboard in hand.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Perfect. Just a second, this part here is closing on me.
Go.
Okay, is everything precise? Everything in order? Now that you are doing... Then don't worry, we will darken your data. Yes, yes. All right, let's see what happens. In the meantime, this is what's happening today.
Can we say what time it is today?
5:20 a.m.
Okay, so at 5:20, there are already $384, considering that we are 6 hours ahead.
Yes, 6 to 8, depending on the point in America.
So it's 11 in the morning there.
Exactly. Okay. So this is September. So 1008. Sorry. In the meantime, you know, okay, this is September. Okay. While last month, 11,008, but I have to select the top.
Let's do things in order. Let's start from July so we can show the dashboard and then directly show the expenses for the month.
From the 1st to the 31st of July, then 1,592. Okay. And 4. Advertising from the 1st to the 31st, $27.27. To be more precise. So 1,592 minus $27.
Okay, while we quickly do this calculation, then 1,592 minus 27. So the first month of publishing, 1,565 net.
Perfect.
Okay, let's move on to the second month.
So I have the smartphone. Here we have wait while I select the top books that sometimes change. So 1192 in August.
Okay.
August 972, 11 9992 972 for 11,020 net. Current month 10,000. Reselect books 10,018 and 17.
192 less.
11,992 972, therefore 11,020.
Okay, 11,000 net events in. Let's show the current month.
This month we are at 10,000. Actually, wait. Sorry, I always reselect the books. 10,017, 10,017, less this month.
691.
So this month we are at 10,126 net as of the 12th.
Exactly.
Wait, let me give you the estimate. Go ahead. 10,817.
Which is one of my favorite moments, as I thought.
Yes.
When you give me the estimates, you're so precise.
How many months is he in September? This is live broadcasting.
September has 30 days.
Okay. 25,960 more or less. I think 26,000. 26,000 in my opinion. Then I hope I'm wrong. I hope it will be 30.
Sure, me too. But let's see. Yes, and considering that I have other stuff that I just launched, which now needs to start a bit. Let's see what happens.
There's some new stuff to deal with.
Yes, a couple in the works and one that has just been taken has come to light.
Perfect. So, third month of publishing. Not bad, I would say. And it really makes me very happy to see all the results. This is precisely the reason why we decided to create such a journey, because it genuinely fills me with pride to see a young man who had prior training, a young man full of potential, who, however, had not found the right formula and was unable to express himself correctly in this business. So, unlocking that potential and seeing him achieve these numbers is truly wonderful. This confirms what we said at the beginning, that sometimes a person might need an extra consultation, maybe an extra message, a doubt that could be important, because even a small thing can make a difference. Not having to guess, but having someone ready to answer you and give you actual help, and maybe even give them a call. I understand about the axis. Something comes to mind. The difference lies entirely here, and therefore I think it is necessary, when someone obviously trusts you, and trusts you personally first and economically second, to take responsibility for the situation and deliver results.
Because otherwise, absolutely, definitely.
There are many things in the training field that I don't like, such as this one. Yes, give me X amount of money, I'll give you X consultations. If you don't make it, if you don't get results, it's the Pareto principle. It's because of the mindset. Now, let's talk about mindset. It's not nice. I mean, let's talk, guys. You need to have competence and obviously put it into practice.
Sometimes the solution is simpler than it seems. Because if I have to look back a bit, since the period is very short, you know it very well. I mean 3 months. 3 months of publishing. 5 months in which I started to put it into practice. Looking back, when I didn't even remotely have Stevio Comaria, I realized that there were actually few things to change. But they were the right ones, okay? Sometimes the solution is closer or simpler than you think. Instead, someone might think they have to do somersaults, and so, no.
The goal is there. Exactly. You just have to go and get it, really. I know it sounds like a cliche, but
Well, that's how it is. Understanding how to do it the right way. Clearly.
you must do.
You can do it.
Obviously, doing the right things. Exactly. Doing the wrong things doesn't make sense.
Understand how to do the right things and then do them.
So I would summarize it as finding a person who has already proven to achieve the results you want to achieve, following the information to the letter exactly, and above all, doing the things that person tells you to do. I mean, in fact, what I can obviously say about Mark is that he went like a train. He was told to do this by this date, and he was ready, done to the letter. There were no excuses, no delays, no, my dog died, no, I broke up with my girlfriend, nothing. This had to be done, and it was done.
And by the way, if I may add, both of these things happened to me.
Yes,
I swear to you,
I didn't know about you.
but these two things,
Really, I swear, I didn't know about you.
the beauty of live broadcasting is, it seems absurd, but it's true, guys.
I can't believe it anyway. I swear to you. Beautiful, beautiful. What happened? It's nice that I didn't know.
It seems absurd, but it's true. Absolutely. However, as you say, there is one thing, it is a priority, it is important, it must be done, period. If you don't do it, you are making excuses, you are not ready.
Yes, because objectively, these are, let's say, difficult things to do. Why? Because you step out of your comfort zone, right? So you go to confront yourself. And let's say humans are afraid of failure. So this thing holds you back. It was easy in Mark's case to say, hey, my dog died.
Exactly. I mean, it actually happened just a little before starting the course, but it weighed on me, you know. Emotionally, it destabilizes you a bit. But yes, you're afraid of change, and that's the reason why you should do it. If you are dissatisfied, this is the reason why you should do it. In other words, the solution, as we mentioned earlier, is simpler than that.
Many get stuck, unable to move forward, just when you feel that knot in your stomach, so to speak. It means you're on the right path. It means you need to run, stop thinking, and start doing. Otherwise, it's easy to throw yourself on the couch. Oh, my dog died. I'll throw myself on the couch for a month, depressed. The keywords. Yeah, well, I'll just fall back into it. I'll look for them later. Then I look for two keywords. I broke up with my girlfriend. There goes another month like that. But then the results don't come. Instead, I focus on Mark in the trial. These things happen. It's fine. Boom. Head down. We move forward. Yes, no excuses.
If you need to, and you have a strong reason to do it, you do it, period. There's no other way. I mean, unless, I don't know, your house falls down, then it's okay. But come on.
Reasons.
Oh, come on, exactly.
In general terms, of course, there are always some.
Yes, due to force majeure, it's clear. But on average, we tell ourselves excuses, there's little to say.
We are talking exactly about trivial things that is not trivial.
Yes, but
we are talking about a destabilized illness in bed that is nothing else would be missing. So I would like to tie into the mindset discussion at this point. So why? I'll give a preamble and then explain. I am very passionate about the topic of mindset, but obviously, like everything, I see it a bit misinterpreted, okay? And I see people making mistakes.
And they mostly abuse it.
Everything I bring up comes from direct experience, right? Because by interacting with many people, these are the things that come up. So the things that come up the most are what I want to address to help as many people as possible. I often meet people who come to me and say, look, Ricky, I have spent X 1,000 euros on publishing, some 3, some 5, some even more, and I haven't achieved any results. So I have a mindset problem. And the thing they find smart is to invest another X thousand euros to do another mindset course that destabilizes them, meaning it takes their focus away from what publishing itself is and takes away the capital they could have used to actually create the business, to do a mental reprogramming course for X months. Now let's talk practically, since we have the results in front of us. Indeed. You who have not done, let's say, specific mindset courses, so hours and hours of mental reprogramming, of installing paradigms. I mean, do you think this mindset is really as necessary as it's being talked about and sold? Because that's what it is. I'm not talking about something related to personal culture, studying, thinking, or growing.
So you made a great distinction, obviously, because the way it is sold, no, precisely because it has to be sold. So my answer is no. In general, I would say yes. It obviously helps because reaching these goals in 3 months is clearly the result of the help from competent people, but also from the hard knocks I took for years before. Okay, and there, you also build a certain type of mindset, but it is still different from how it is generally sold. Okay, there is a mindset built on the field. Let's say it's an experience made on the battlefield, which is different from a somewhat more, I would say, passive factor that one might do for personal purposes. So we are talking about another area, and these are different things. So I would probably, but this is just my opinion clearly, focus more on staying on the battlefield and understanding what isn't working, analyzing myself to see why I'm not taking that action. Why yes, why no, but staying within the field of publishing, meaning the battlefield is publishing. And sometimes, unfortunately, even though I'm not saying they aren't useful, they are a bit secondary, a bit complementary in this case. Either you do it for your own personal reason, or there's nothing more to say. But let's say the idea I've formed is that often people rely on external courses with the illusion, so to speak, that simply following that course can make a difference, but practice is always missing. At this point, you stay on the publishing battlefield and practice. There is a lot. There is not much to do. And secondly, if I may add, it is a way to dissolve oneself from the problem. I am running away from the problem. I am running away from the battlefield of publishing. So in reality, you are going in the opposite direction.
Exactly.
Maybe a bit mean, but
The truth. They feel good because they say, at least I'm doing something. Exactly. I'm doing something for the business. I'm studying. I'm spending 2 hours with my earphones on. I'm doing visualizations. So am I doing something for the business? No. You are doing the views because the business is still stuck there.
exactly.
You are taking focus away from the business. Exactly.
I would understand more if I did both. So, okay, you are still taking some time, but you know, everyone can feel it in their own way. Personally, and I repeat my experience, which may not be universally applicable, I prefer to stay on the battlefield because first, you don't back down, and second, you learn more by taking the hits and learning from them. I am a fan of tunnel vision, honestly, so if something is done well, it is done.
In my opinion, the mindset is simple. It must become a matter of principle.
Yes, exactly.
Did I get lost and achieve results? Yes. Did Mark achieve results? Yes. Did I get the information from the right person who has proven to achieve results? The best in the field? Yes. Okay, enough. I have everything I need. Now, I have to do things quickly. Do them well, given my current level of competence, because I will continue to grow, right? I mean, even if you have taken a course, obviously at the beginning, you might make mistakes, of course.
Clear, absolutely.
Make a mistake. Good. Are you going to cry about it? Oh my, what happened? Good. What did I learn? This. Perfect. Good. Keep going and keep it up.
It's an attitude. It's there that, yes, in my opinion, yes.
That's it. Do things. Don't give up until you achieve your goals, which is also trivial, cliche. All right. Okay.
But it actually happened.
These are the things, and it's not just me saying this because I'm not here alone right now. Mark says it too. And I mean, we have the results right here in front of us. So it's not.
And if it doesn't make sense, that is, you build your mindset along the way, especially if you start from scratch. So without wanting to discriminate against anyone, let's say I worked as a postal employee, which is a bit of a classic example, and I did it for 20 years. It's normal that you are mentally set in a certain direction. You start a job like this, a business like this, and you feel a bit destabilized. The dynamics are different, and the mindset behind it is completely different. But that doesn't mean you have to stop this, take a course, go to a classroom, jump. You build it as you go. It's the best thing you can do. There's not much else to do.
Hold on tightly to the capital you have. With your head, with your brain. Don't go filling other people's pockets unnecessarily. Because first, you need to say, damn, you need to invest in training. Yes, Yes, I agree to pay $180 for the covers. We shouldn't invest, guys. This seems clear to me. Doing something that distracts you from what your actual publishing path is. Let's not look around too much. Absolutely agree.
My dogs go right behind me and pass by every now and then.
Yes, yes, and nothing. Just my dogs in the background passing by every now and then. Yes, 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 and nothing. So, Mark, I would say that we have covered many things, and surely if someone wants to ask you any questions, gladly.
Gladly,
Goodbye to a great live session.
gladly.
Live right now. This way I can respond to everyone.
At your disposal.
Well, I wanted to ask you something important so that you can also publicly commit. Okay.
I am waiting for this question.
Because it is very important. What are your goals? So we want to know which direction you want to take. In economic terms, with deadlines, because they are dreams. And then, obviously, I hope this will be a springboard for you. So you need to commit in front of everyone. Because then
Absolutely, yes, then.
you will all write to Mark on that date to see if he has reached this goal.
So, my practical goal, which I see as achievable, is to make 1K a day, $1,000 a day on average. So to have an end of month average of $1,000 a day, thus closing the month at 30K.
So you can stabilize at 30K per month with publishing.
I didn't understand, sorry.
So stabilize the business at 30K per month with publishing.
Yes. So more than stabilizing it, first of all, reaching it. And then, yes, absolutely stabilizing it. And my idea was by December. Okay. But then seeing how things are going this month, I said to myself, you know what, maybe by September, even though honestly, I don't know if I'll make it or not, but I'm living it calmly, okay? The idea was an average of 1,000 a day. So reaching 30K by the end of the month, by December. This is my goal.
Have you already experienced the thrill of K-Day?
Yes, 3 times.
Yes. Let's go there on the chart.
So one is this. Yesterday, 86, another. This 1151, and one yesterday, by the way, 1063.
Okay. With the ADS expenses you had this month, we are definitely talking about net KDA.
Yes, practically clean, yes.
It's not KDA that I spent 500, 700, 800 in, 171, 8, 100 in ADS, because that's not KDA. That's 200 KD. It's a net KDA.
True. Sincere.
Real Kapade. The Kapade we like.
Of the sincere ones.
Okay, so the goal is to reach 30K and stabilize from what I will ask on my end, because if I make you compromise, I compromise myself too. I am sure you will reach it. Thank you. Because obviously I saw your attitude. So despite having a path where you were fully supported, where you could be fully supported, you still brought out great problem-solving skills, great business qualities. And as a business person, because you didn't say, there's this thing here, I'll ask Ricky, or this other thing here. There was even one time when I saw something that made me very happy. It was seeing Mark, who wrote me this question and then wrote back saying, no, never mind, don't answer, I'll figure it out myself. And this is a great satisfaction for someone who provides consultations, because it means they see a person who is able to stand on their own 2 feet. That is, they are not.
Exactly, the true need of that egg, the true need of those needs of that egg, the true need of those egg needs, the true essence of what you teach us then.
Exactly. So I am sure you will achieve them. And I hope this will be a springboard, and that what you have experienced in the field here, you will then apply at the mindset level, which we should be careful to pronounce. And you will then replicate it in all the other businesses you will undertake. I am sure you will achieve great results.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart, Ricky.
Thank you for being here. If you had to give 3 pieces of advice to Mark from 4 months ago, 6 months ago, or to someone who is not getting results with their work, what would they be?
So, if I had to give advice to myself from 4 months ago, it would be to work even harder, push even more, because there is always room for improvement. If I had to give myself probably the only piece of advice when in hindsight, if I had to give advice to someone who is not getting results, maybe at the beginning, don't worry. Because it can be normal to need time to understand things. Now, one sees that they have 10K in 3 months, but it took years of hard work. So generally people like to hear the happy ending, not the happy end, but they don't like the story told behind where you take the hits. So give yourself time, study, and calm down because it's normal. If something is not going well, it's actually positive because it means you have the opportunity to understand what you're not doing right and therefore have the chance to fix it. And this one, instead, it doesn't work. No, don't get depressed. Sit there and figure it out. Look, observe, ask. There's a group. Sit there and understand why it doesn't work, and you'll see that you'll find the answer. Seek and you shall find.
Absolutely.
There's not much to do.
Key is starting.
And then, if you truly believe in this business, in this work, and after all, there is plenty of evidence in the world, go for it. Go all in. Conseno, which doesn't mean that tomorrow you'll get the money, everything, but you go all in until the right moment comes when it clicks. You have to keep working, understanding, learning, and then it arrives. There's really work to be done.
Exactly. I agree with what Mark said. Obviously, guys, you need to find the right information, listen to the right people, and take action. I mean, it's simpler than we think. Exactly. No problem, Mark. Thank you very much. Thanks to you, it was truly a pleasure. And that's it. So we always keep in touch. We have our group, absolutely. And we will always keep in touch.
Okay. Well, greetings to everyone, and a heartfelt greeting to you and to Ricky.
Thank you very much. Great. Amazing, Mark. Keep it up.
Thank you. Bye.